how would you define this next era of your life?
I don't really know where it's gonna be, but I know wherever it's gonna be amazing.
All right, so let's start from the beginning for anyone who might not be caught up. After 11 years of marriage, Kandi Burruss, Grammy Award-winning songwriter, businesswoman, and Real Housewives of Atlanta star, filed for divorce from her husband, Todd Tucker. Now, when this news first broke, a lot of people were shocked. And I mean genuinely shocked, because for years, Kandi and Todd seemed like one of the strongest couples in the entire Real Housewives franchise. They built businesses together, they have children together, they seemed like they were in it for the long haul. But here's where things start to get interesting. According to multiple reports that have been circulating, Kandi allegedly discovered that Todd had been communicating with other women behind her back. And apparently, she had absolutely no idea this was happening. None.
So I've wanted to come back to the stage. I wanted to come back to the Broadway stage, and what better way to do it than to do a show that has all of Max Martin's hits.
Seriously.
This is exciting for me. I love to perform. I love musical theater.
This man was reportedly moving in silence right under her own roof, and she was completely blindsided by what she found. Now, I want to be clear, we're going to be using words like allegedly and reportedly throughout this video because a lot of this information is still developing. But what I can tell you is that the sources speaking on this situation seem pretty confident in what they're saying. Now, before we go any further, I need to address something that's been floating around the internet because I've seen it in my comments, I've seen it on social media, and we need to clear this up. There have been rumors suggesting that Todd got another woman pregnant. And I'm here to tell you that, according to sources close to the situation, that is apparently not true. Here's why. It's being reported that Todd actually had a vasectomy very early on in his relationship with Kandi. Now, I don't know if that was supposed to be public information or not, but it's out there now.
And this was like the perfect role for me at the perfect time.
Oh, it truly is. I mean, every song in here is a bop. It's a hit.
Pretty, pretty please, don't you ever feel like you're less than.
So for everyone spreading pregnancy rumors, that's allegedly not what happened here. However, and this is a big however, just because that particular rumor isn't true doesn't mean Todd is innocent of everything else. Because according to these same sources, Todd was allegedly spotted at another woman's house. And the person making these claims says they have receipts, pictures, an address, a name, everything. So while we can put the pregnancy rumors to rest, there's still a whole lot of other mess to unpack. Okay, now let's talk about the legal side of things, because this is where it really starts to get messy. After Kandi filed for divorce, Todd responded with his own legal filing. And y'all, the audacity of this man. Todd is reportedly claiming that the prenuptial agreement he signed before marrying Kandi should be thrown out completely. His argument? He says he signed it under duress. He's claiming that he was essentially forced into signing it and didn't have a real choice in the matter. Now, here's the problem with that argument. For those of you who watched Real Housewives of Atlanta during that time, you might remember that the prenup signing was actually filmed and aired on television. It was part of the show. We all saw it happen. And Kandi, she's not letting Todd get away with this narrative.
Juliet is gonna keep your attention from the time the first person hits the stage until we leave for the bows. Even their bows make you feel like you want to be a part of it. You know what I mean?
According to reports, her legal team fired back almost immediately, asking the judge to watch that episode, because the footage allegedly shows Todd agreeing to sign the prenup willingly. He knew what he was doing, he understood the terms, and now he wants to act like he was forced. I'm going to let y'all form your own opinions on that one. But it's clear that Kandi is fighting hard to make sure that prenup stays intact. And based on what we're learning about Todd's alleged behavior during the marriage, I think we're starting to understand why she's protecting her assets so fiercely. All right, now we need to get into the main event, the part of this story that has everyone talking. According to multiple sources, Todd Tucker wasn't just talking to one other woman. He allegedly wasn't even talking to 2 other women. We're hearing reports that Todd was stepping out on Kandi with multiple women throughout their marriage. Now, here's what makes this even crazier. Many of you probably know that Kandi has been pretty open about the fact that she and Todd had a somewhat unconventional marriage. She's talked publicly about the fact that they engaged in threesomes together. She discussed it on Instagram Live. It wasn't a secret. So essentially, they had some form of open arrangement. There was already flexibility in their relationship.
You know, I just feel like it's just the overall story of, you know, wanting to take control of your life and, you know, in a transitional period in your life where you don't know where you're headed, but you know it's going to be great when you get there.
And yet, Todd allegedly still managed to step outside the boundaries of whatever agreement they had. He was reportedly building relationships with other women, lying about the state of his marriage, and making Kandi look like she was the problem, all while she thought they were working through their issues together. Sources are saying that Kandi is absolutely furious because she went above and beyond to keep her husband happy. She accommodated him, she opened up her marriage, and she still got cheated on. That's a level of betrayal that I honestly can't even imagine. Now, this is where the story takes an even more dramatic turn, because we're not just dealing with secondhand information and anonymous sources anymore. There are people claiming they witnessed Todd's behavior with their own eyes. One person who's been speaking on this situation claims that back in June of this year, they were in Atlanta, staying at the St. Regis Buckhead. For those who don't know, that's a very upscale luxury hotel. And according to this eyewitness, they allegedly saw Todd Tucker at the bar with a woman who was not his wife. And this woman, described as a blonde white woman, was reportedly sitting on Todd's lap.
Kandi Burruss' estranged husband Todd Tucker is sending her a message of support amid their divorce. Amid the former couple's ongoing divorce, the Real Housewives of Atlanta alum appears on the December 9th episode of The View to perform a musical number from the Broadway show & Juliet, and her estranged husband shows his support on social media.
Now, here's the kicker. This person claims that this sighting happened around the exact same time that Kandi was on Instagram Live talking about the threesomes she and Todd used to have. So while Kandi was at home publicly praising her husband and being open about their intimate life, Todd was allegedly out at a luxury hotel bar with another woman on his lap. The eyewitness says that someone at the establishment noticed them watching and told them to put their phone away, so they weren't able to get photo evidence. But they claim they'll never forget what they saw. Okay, so now we need to talk about the identity of the alleged other woman, or should I say women? Because here's the thing, there are reports suggesting that among the multiple women Todd was allegedly involved with, there's one in particular who's causing the most concern for Kandi. According to sources, one of the women Todd was allegedly seeing is someone who was actually close to Kandi personally. This wasn't some random stranger. This was allegedly someone in her circle. Now, the person sharing this information claims to know exactly who this woman is. They say they have her pictures, they know where she lives, and they know her name. But they've been holding back on revealing her identity, saying they don't want to add extra stress to Kandi's situation right now. What they did reveal is that this woman's name allegedly starts with the letter H.
In a post on Instagram later that day, Todd shares a clip of Kandi, who will make her debut in the musical on December 11th, singing Pink's Perfect alongside her castmate Gianna Harris on the daytime talk show.
Now, the internet being the internet, people are already speculating and trying to figure out who this could be. Some names have been thrown around, but nothing has been confirmed. What we do know is that multiple people are saying it's only a matter of time before this woman's identity becomes public. And when that happens, the internet is going to have a field day. Let's talk about the financial aspect of all this because it adds another layer to the situation. It's no secret that Kandi Burruss is wealthy. Very wealthy. She's a Grammy-winning songwriter who's written hits for some of the biggest names in music. She's been on Real Housewives of Atlanta for years. She owns multiple businesses, including the Old Lady Gang restaurant. The woman has built an empire. Todd, on the other hand, while he is a working professional with his own career in production, has always been in a different financial position than his wife. The financial gap between them has been significant throughout their marriage. Now, here's where it gets messy. There are allegations floating around that Todd was using Kandi's money to fund his activities with these other women. We're talking about taking them to clubs, paying for vacations, wining and dining them, all allegedly on Kandi's dime. Meanwhile, according to some reports, Todd's own business ventures weren't exactly thriving. So while his projects were allegedly struggling, he was reportedly out spending his wife's money on other women. And now this same man is trying to get the prenup thrown out so he can get even more of Kandi's money in the divorce. The audacity is truly something else.
Writing on screen, great job, Kandi. The TV producer, who worked behind the scenes on The Real Housewives of Atlanta before exchanging vows with Kandi in 2014, also congratulates her in the caption.
Now, here's something interesting that I think is worth discussing. According to reports, Kandi is pushing hard to keep the details of this divorce private. She allegedly wants the case sealed and kept out of the public eye as much as possible. And at first you might think, okay, that makes sense. Divorce is personal. Nobody wants their business out in the streets like that. But sources are suggesting there's more to it than just wanting privacy. Kandi Burruss has spent years building her brand and her image. She's a businesswoman. She knows that her reputation is tied to her success. And this divorce, with all the allegations of cheating and betrayal, threatens to expose things she might prefer to keep hidden. First, there's the embarrassment factor. Finding out your husband cheated is painful enough, but finding out he cheated with someone close to you, that's a whole different level of humiliation. And if that woman's identity becomes public, it puts Kandi's judgment and her entire inner circle into question. Second, there's the financial aspect. Sources say Kandi doesn't want the world to know her real net worth. In a divorce proceeding, financial records come out, and Kandi might prefer to keep those numbers between herself and the court. So while Kandi is dealing with the emotional fallout of this situation, she's also apparently working overtime to control the narrative and protect what she's built. I want to take a moment to talk about how differently Kandi and Todd have been handling this situation publicly, because the contrast is pretty telling.
Writing, great job, keep inspiring and doing your thing. And Kandi seems to appreciate the support, liking his post and commenting with a heart emoji, thank you.
Kandi has been on social media, being vulnerable with her fans. She's made posts acknowledging that she's going through a difficult time. She's talked about feeling emotionally broken. She's admitted that the divorce process is taking a toll on her, even though she's trying to stay strong and smile through the pain for the people who depend on her. You can tell this situation is weighing heavily on her, and honestly, my heart goes out to her. Regardless of what happened in that marriage, going through a public divorce while dealing with allegations of infidelity cannot be easy. Now let's look at Todd. After filing his legal response, the one where he's trying to throw out the prenup and asking for primary custody of the children, you know what this man did? He packed his bags, grabbed some friends, and jetted off to the Bahamas. Yes, the Bahamas, for what he called healing time. Now listen, everyone deals with stress differently, but the optics of this, while your soon-to-be ex-wife is at home, dealing with the emotional devastation of your alleged infidelity, you're on a tropical vacation with your boys. Some people are saying Todd is doing this intentionally, that he wants to show he's unbothered, that he's trying to save face after all the jokes people have been making about him online. But to a lot of observers, it just looks cold. It looks like he doesn't care, and that's making people side with Kandi even more.
Last month, the Grammy winner announces that she intends to seek a divorce from Todd, with whom she shares kids Ace and Blaze, explaining that she was stepping into a new chapter.
All right, y'all. As I was researching this situation, I started going back through the history of Kandi and Todd's relationship. And honestly, looking back, there were warning signs everywhere. Let's start with Mama Joyce. Kandi's mother has never been shy about her feelings toward Todd. And years ago, she actually called Todd out publicly for allegedly cheating on Kandi with her best friend, Carmen. According to Mama Joyce, Todd was spotted at a club with Carmen, and she was reportedly sitting on his lap. Sound familiar? Because that seems to be a pattern. Then there's the infamous moment when Todd allegedly told Kandi to her face that she ain't no Rihanna. Now, I need y'all to pause and think about that. What kind of husband says something like that to his wife, to the mother of his children, to the woman who's been financing his lifestyle? The disrespect is unreal. And let's not forget about the rumors that Todd always seemed a little too interested in Portia Williams whenever she was around. People have pointed out that he seemed to be sneaking glances at her, and some have speculated that Kandi wasn't really his type to begin with. There's also the bombshell that came out about Todd allegedly having a secret apartment in the city that Kandi knew nothing about, a whole apartment that his wife didn't know about. Looking back at all of this, a lot of people are saying the signs were there all along. Family members warned Kandi, friends warned Kandi, and now unfortunately it seems like their concerns were justified. So there you have it, y'all. That's everything we know so far about the Kandi Burruss and Todd Tucker divorce situation. And honestly, I think we're just getting started. This story is still developing, and I have a feeling there's going to be a lot more tea spilled in the coming weeks and months. As soon as we get any updates, I'm going to be right here to break it all down for you. Now, I want to hear from y'all in the comments. What do you think about this whole situation? Do you think Kandi should expose the alleged mistress, or should she keep it private? And what do you think about Todd trying to throw out the prenup? Drop your thoughts below. Let's have a conversation. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you found it informative. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next update on this story. I'll see y'all in the next one. Stay safe, stay blessed, and I'll talk to you soon.